there, gays and girls. Welcome to the Lowdown. This is episode 1. I'm your host, Tarika Santiago. And just for the sake of episode 1, me and my co-host are going to give us a little bit about ourselves. My pronouns are she, her. I am bisexual. And a fun fact about me would be that I am a New York transplant.
Beautiful. I am her co-host, Cynthia Fontaine. Also for the sake of episode 1, I go by she, her. I am lesbian. And fun fact, I'm an axe master. I teach people how to throw axes on the weekends.
Dope.
My name is Sophia Martinez. My pronouns are they, them. I'm struggling with my sexual identity, but somewhere between lesbian and pansexual, figuring it out. And Fun fact, I want to own a farm one day. Yeah.
Nice. My name is Donovan Sneed. My pronouns are he, him. I'm gay. And a fun fact about me is that I'm actually a choreographer.
Ooh.
Oh,
He has his own team and everything.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Gabrielle Alexa. My pronouns are she, her. I'm bisexual, and a fun fact about me is that I really love my cat. And if I can bring her up in this conversation, I will.
I love your cat too.
That was my
We're going to try
cat.
to find a way to bring up our cats. So we have a segment for you called Queer News. We're going to watch a video and we're going to all react to it.
Alrighty, I will share my screen. Alright, so for all the Marvel fans out there.
Gay news, Marvel has never done this in a movie.
We're Eternals. We came here to protect humans from the deviants. When you love something, you fight for it.
Dad, I saw him on TV with the cape shooting laser beams.
Gay news.
Okay, was everyone able to see it?
Yes.
Okay. I know we all saw that. So this is Marvel's first blockbuster movie to feature a same-sex kiss, you guys. They got a whole queer daddy couple.
Honestly, shouldn't be a big deal.
That's amazing.
But it is a big deal.
It shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome, though. I know a lot of people are mad out there, though.
Oh my god, so many people. But I do genuinely think, especially for a movie where you don't really get to simmer with that gay couple at all, that Marvel, at least in their MCU, owes queer people a lot more. Their comics are like incredibly queer. So there's not really an excuse for it to not translate on film. And then they gave us Valkyrie, and she's queer in the comics, and then there was even a scene that was cut from Thor Ragnarok where the person that she loses in the like original war or whatever, where she's Valkyrie, is her girlfriend, and she has like kisses this girlfriend. They cut the scene, so it was like all right. And then they gave us Black Panther, and Ao, she's one of the Dora, is supposed to be queer. She has this huge queer storyline. I'm reading the World of Wakanda series right now, comic series, and she's like very outspokenly queer, and they don't have that represented in Black Panther at all.
Not at all.
And,
Not at all.
And Ao was a way bigger character because she was just in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think something else, I can't remember. But like, it's not like they're not already developing her character, so there's not really, I feel like, any excuse. And I think they've done this a couple more times, so it's just like, I think they owed us a little bit more than just this one little character. Oh, and then they gave us Loki, and Loki's like, I'm bisexual, and then nothing happens for the whole show.
Heard nothing ever again.
They literally made it like a major line. Like they literally made it a point to point it out in the show, but it doesn't go anywhere. So it's kind of like here's a thing, you're gonna throw it into the air, but it's not gonna land anywhere because we don't want to upset, our
People
homophobic
exist beyond the label. You know? And we don't really see queer people existing beyond just the label of being gay or lesbian or whatever. But I'm glad that people are upset about this, because that means that they weren't seeing enough of it before. So I say
agree. It
some
definitely
more.
needs to be shown more.
I agree.
Also, I just feel like gay people exist, you know? People just need to get over it, kind of. And, like, I feel like the more that they see this representation, the more that people will understand that, you know, being gay is a normal thing, you know? It's not anything weird or different.
Right.
1,000,000%. So there are a lot of positive LGBTQIA plus representation in media, but I would like to go around the room and ask each individual, how do they feel they're being represented in media based on their identities? Like, what is your perspective of queer representation in mainstream media today?
I definitely feel like it's better than it used to be a couple of years ago. Like, you definitely see it way, way more, but I also do feel like there could be more that could be done to, like, I don't know, maybe push the envelope a little bit more, not to, like, just because, like, people are just kind of, like, very prudish when it comes to this. Like, even when there is, like, a couple in, like, a show or something like that, you notice that, like, their displays of affection are very subtle and light, as opposed to a straight show. They're making out, they're doing it here and there, and it's just, like, in your face, you know what I'm saying? Not that, like, that's necessarily what people want to see, but I just feel like there's definitely a double standard there.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd have to go with two different ones. The first one from my childhood, when I first discovered I was bisexual, I aligned so much with Korra from Legend of Korra. That was like the first time I had ever seen.
Yeah.
And the show never explicitly said it, okay? As a child, I just felt the vibes. And I knew that her and Asami were a thing. And now that I'm all grown up or whatever, I see new shows like Sex Education that are a little bit more like blatant and in your face. And like, we are here and we are queer, you know? But again, I don't exactly love that sex is always tied to like the queer experience, because we're not inherently all sexual. So I would love to see more just regular day-to-day people existing on TV, on your phone, on social media as they are. Yeah.
That's why I am so obsessed with, I watch Helga. It's on Netflix. I don't know if it's a kid's show because it helps me when I'm feeling anxious. So it's an adult show.
Wait, Helga or Hilda?
Hilda, sorry.
Yes, adorable. Oh, I love that show.
So Hilda is not the queer character, but there's like two, Girl Scout leader people.
Yeah.
I don't know what the title is. And they are queer, and I'm always like, oh, hey, it's the lesbians. And I watch Owl House. I watched it during the election also because I was anxious, so I couldn't watch anything else. And the lead is bisexual, I don't know. And then her girlfriend is a lesbian, and it's on Disney Channel, like Disney Channel.
Okay, stepping up their game.
They were like passing each other notes and stuff. Like, so precious. And it doesn't tie it to sex because it's a kid show.
Hell yeah. I love that.
So I love those too. If I had a kids show like that I could tune into on Disney Channel every week and see queer people, I would have had a completely different childhood.
Right.
I agree.
That's crazy. That's so good that these kids now have that.
And that's great for them.
Powerpuff Girls. I forgot its name. The devil character. Totally queer, right?
Him?
Does anybody remember that?
Yes. What's his name?
Yes.
Him was
There's
literally
no
a drag character.
There is nothing.
None.
In his body.
That's he wears. His name is Him, but has an effeminate voice. Wears heels and makeup, and definitely gave me drag vibes. When I was a kid, I was like, "Wow, why is this villain fabulous?" I love him.
I loved
He
him.
was the most intense one to me, in my opinion. The most intimidating, the most scary, the one who could actually do the most damage too. So I thought that was like actually cool.
Yeah, I agree. Adventure Time. Has anyone seen that show? They have a extended series on HBO Max, and they highlight Princess Bubblegum and I forgot
Marcy. I think
yes, Oh my
And
gosh. Clearly lesbian couple.
I love that.
I should
love
them
that
so hard.
she's like so goth, and then the other one is all princessy and bubbly.
Yes.
I tried to get into it because everybody always says that I'm very Princess Bubblegum to my goth girlfriend. But
Perfect match.
But I can't like get into Adventure Time. It's just like the plot is just not hidden for me. So I wish.
Maybe you'll like maybe you'll like the Distant Lands episode, because it's Adventure Time is the kid and his dog, but this one is kind of like a spin-off where it just gives you like a little bit more of a backstory on these specific characters.
Yeah. But I think the benefit of them having an abundance of queer shows now is that I can not watch one and feel like that's okay. There's still so many.
Yes.
That's why they could do better, because I should have more options than I have right now.
Oh, yeah.
So what is everyone's favorite show right now? Like, if you was going to recommend a show that's a queer show, less representation of the queer community, what do you think?
I can pick just one show because there's so many facets to the queer experience, and TV obviously mimics that. Right now I'm watching For All Mankind on Apple TV, and it takes place in the 70s. So it talks about how like there's one of the astronauts is a lesbian, but she can't go out and she can't be out. So she has a beard astronaut who's gay. And I feel like that is such a fascinating thing that I hadn't even considered in my thoughts about NASA. More of that, like inserting them into historical narratives where they already exist is important. I have been watching C, also on Apple TV, and then randomly in season 2, I'm seeing girls making now, and I'm like, I didn't even know I was getting gay shit. I mean, gay stuff. It's like it just came out of left field, and I love that because it used to be like we would know that there's a queer character 5 seasons into the show, and we would sit patiently like waiting because we all communicated and said we'd watch, and now I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even hear about this.
It's amazing.
Gotta love the unexpected representation. I already mentioned Sex Education, but this might just be me, but I have never seen another non-binary character on TV. I only watch like Netflix and Amazon though, so I'm not sure about any other like platforms, but that
on Netflix
was a milestone. I loved that show, and that's currently what I've been most up to.
Atypical is a really, really, really good show on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's about Sam, who is neurodivergent. He is on the spectrum, and it's basically about how he gets through life every day. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it or who would like to watch it. But it's such a good show. Like, I binged it. I binged the last season, and I was like, wow, that was so much in so little time. But I feel like they do it perfectly. Mm-hmm. I feel like they don't do anything overboard. I feel like I believe the actor who plays Sam is also on the spectrum.
He's not. I looked it up. That's what.
Is he not? I definitely feel like I looked it up, and then I was like,
a lot of people complained because they felt that it didn't like perfectly represent. But I will say also, not to suck Owl House off, but there's a non-binary teacher in Owl House.
Ooh, we love that. Yes, let's do more people in the queer lives.
I didn't get to the gay part of ATIP.
I thought you said you didn't want to ruin it.
I know, we're trying not to do spoilers.
We're on the but I'm not ruining
Oh, okay. Go. I wasn't sure.
Okay, so Sam has a sister, and her name is blanking out for me right now. Alex? And she goes through like, I think they've had like 5 seasons of the show already. Through these 5 seasons, she literally like goes through in her brain like, oh my gosh, she has a boyfriend, 8th grade, freshman year of high school, and then slowly like life starts kicking in. She joins a sports team, and on said sports team, there is a rival from another school And so she transfers schools. And there's this girl who doesn't like her for the life of her, can't understand why she does not like her, but we know how that goes down. So
How was that not a spoiler?
Because there's so much more. It's not even just about that. There's so much more.
Have you guys seen Vita?
No, but I heard amazing things about it.
It's incredible. There's a lot of titties in the show. It's one of those where I'm just like, did we need this much titties? But there's
We can, I don't think we can ever use less of it, right?
I'd be trying to watch these shows with my parents. Like, I need some wholesome shows.
We need some wholesome shows.
That I can watch with my dad.
Okay, so wholesome shows. Schitt's Creek. Although there's some like adult jokes, but bottom line, very wholesome and not many. I mean, they allude to sexual things, but it's not a sexually charged show. It's not explicit at all. So have you guys heard about Superman's son, Jonathan Kent, coming out as bisexual? Some more queer representation in the comic book worlds. I feel like we kind of touched bases on, the Black Panther story and this first Marvel scene, but like we need more, and I feel like those are only going to open up doors for more representation in mainstream media and TV and comic books and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
I to reiterate, the comics are so queer that Superman's son is like whatever to me, because there's also Green Goblin's son.
Oh yeah, he is too. Yeah,
there's the Harley Quinn. They're my favorite, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
Hell yeah.
Ivy.
Like DC was I believe the first of the big two to do queer representation in their comic. Done it really well since 1998. I think was the first queer kiss, or it might have been 92 or something like that. So Superman, I'm just excited that like them incorporating it into the MCU, I feel like is way bigger of a deal, because they bank on the fact that they can do like limited run comics for individual like identity groups. But movies, they're like, if we're spending like billions of dollars on this, do we really want to not be able to release it in countries that are going to reject it? So it's more impactful, at least to me, when it's in the movies. If you're not hurting your bottom line for queer lives, like I don't care about it.
That's how I feel about it. It's always like to save money, save a market, save face. They'll edit out, remove, erase people of color and queer people out of things just for the sake of, and dare I say, Chinese money. Just saying. And this is not like to Chinese people, because amazing, but the Chinese government definitely needs to be stopped. They're getting too much censorship over the whole of, again, queer people, Black people. It's really an issue there.
I will say it's a lot more markets than just China, but we always seem to like hear about the China problem because our country is very anti-Chinese. So I will say there's a couple markets that are very anti-gay, anti-queer, and I wish that all of them would change their policies. But at the end of the day, I think it would be meaningful for Marvel to be like, we don't care if we're losing money in those countries because of what we bring to the storytelling and to the people who actually do fuck with it. I mean, do love it.
And who's to say that the people of those countries aren't, looking for examples like, hey, the US is openly gay and queer in their movies and in the industry. Why can't our government do the same? It's always going to get some people upset, but I think it's better for those who it impacts meaningfully to actually get that impact. And the rest is going to get figured out.
Thank you so much for joining the Lowdown. One last thing before we go. I feel like we should all give some type of parting advice for new baby queers coming into the culture, looking for something good to watch, or maybe just a piece of advice you want to give.
I would say to definitely, if you haven't, to check out some of these queer shows that we talked about. or any queer show that you could get your hands on, because it's really important for you to see yourself represented in the media and in culture. So get on that.
Definitely. I would also say try not to get too sucked into like the culture that you see. It's really not as glamorous as it looks like on TV sometimes, you know. It is what you make it. It's, you know, you identify with what you identify with, and really the people that you surround yourself with, make sure that they are also part of the community or a very, very good ally. So make sure to surround yourself with people that are only going to be there to lift you up.
I'm just going to give my current favorite show that is queer, other than C, which is incredible. Mwah. But I have also been watching. Never mind. I mentioned it before. I said For All Mankind. Anyway, if you haven't checked out For All Mankind or C or any of the shows you watch, they're so great. I love when queer representation sneaks up on you and isn't like the entire facet of that person's story arc, especially like the coming out of it, because like there's so much more to queerness than coming out. So I think that's why those shows, they show like just queer existence and like queer struggle perhaps, but not like this like, should I come out, will I come out, like on and off switch.
Oh, I'm the last one. Stay golden. Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let what anyone else says about you or about your being, or about your sexuality, about your identity, put you in a downfall. You know yourself best. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't settle for anyone else's opinions, or whatever they need to say about you. And yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just leave you guys with definitely check out all these shows. They're amazing. Queer Eye on Netflix is really great. They rebooted it amazingly, and although it is a show literally showing queerness, and it's queer men making over people that are not necessarily queer all the time, I feel like there's a lot of heartwarming and wholesomeness. If it's something for everyone. So if you're not necessarily queer, any of these shows honestly have something for everyone. So even if you're not queer, or if you are, if you're a person of color, if you're not, definitely watch and experience these stories, because we want to see more people of color and queer people of color in these stories. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tarika Santiago.
I'm Cynthia Fontaine.
Sophia, goodbye.
I'm Donovan Sneed.
Gabrielle Alexa.
Bye.
Be nice to each other. Bye.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh,